Skol Nation, brace yourselves because what just leaked out of TCO Performance Center is absolutely incredible. We are talking about a massive void left on our depth chart, a brutal reality check for one of our highest paid stars, and an earth-shattering quarterback rumor that could literally change the entire landscape of the NFC North this season. You do not want to miss a single second of this insane breakdown. If you bleed purple and gold, smash that subscribe button right now and let us dive into the madness. Jalen Nailor is officially heading to the Raiders, and his departure has suddenly sparked an absolute frenzy inside the Vikings front office regarding the wide receiver 3 position. Losing this kid might not seem like a monumental franchise-altering shift to the casual observer, but for those of us paying close attention to the offensive scheme, it leaves a significant gap that Kwesi Adofo-Mensah needs to address immediately. And here is the scary part, because the moment that roster spot opened up, the phones at TCO Performance Center started ringing off the hook with massive veteran names looking to come to the Twin Cities. We are talking about genuine interest from proven league veterans like DeAndre Hopkins and our very own former reliable target KJ Osborne, reaching out to fill that exact void. Now think about this for a second, because replacing a young developmental prospect with a surefire Hall of Fame caliber weapon like D-Hop would completely transform the dynamic of our receiving room alongside Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. Having that kind of veteran savvy lining up out wide would give any quarterback an absolute safety blanket on crucial third down situations. But it gets worse for opposing defenses if we actually pull the trigger on a move of this magnitude, because stacking 3 elite pass catchers makes our aerial assault virtually undefendable in man coverage. The front office knows that championship windows in the National Football League do not stay open forever, and finding the perfect complementary piece right now could be the difference between a deep playoff run and an early vacation. But what the Vikings are planning to do next with another incredibly important offensive piece is where things get really interesting. Before we get into this shocking disrespect toward our star tight end, do me a huge favor and smash that like button if you want the Vikings to sign DeAndre Hopkins, and drop a comment below letting me know who you think should be our wide receiver 3 this season. TJ Hawkinson was just ruthlessly labeled as the most overvalued player on the entire Minnesota roster by a Bleacher Report analyst, even after he graciously agreed to restructure his massive contract to help this team alleviate critical salary cap constraints. This absolute blatant disrespect coming from the national media is honestly staggering when you consider everything this incredible tight end has sacrificed and produced since arriving in the Twin Cities. We all know the grueling physical breakdown he endured, suffering that devastating knee injury late last season, yet he still managed to be the ultimate team player by actively working with the front office to massage the financial numbers so we could retain other crucial defensive pieces. And here is the scary part about this ridiculous narrative, because labeling him as overpaid completely ignores the sheer volume of high-pressure targets he handled when Justin Jefferson was sidelined with his hamstring issue. Now think about this from a locker room perspective, because when your key offensive cornerstone takes less immediate cap space for the betterment of the franchise and still gets dragged by national pundits, it creates a massive chip on his shoulder heading into the new campaign. This is the kind of outside noise that fuels a monstrous revenge season, and anyone doubting his immense value to our red zone efficiency is simply not watching the games. Inside the building, coaches and teammates clearly understand his irreplaceable worth in the middle of the field, stretching linebackers and creating mismatches that scheme open our wideouts. But what the Vikings are secretly brewing regarding the most important position on the entire football field is where this insane day of news takes a completely unbelievable turn. Skol Nation, I need to hear your voice right now, because I am absolutely heated about this Hawkinson disrespect. Hit that like button if you believe he is worth every single penny, and comment below telling these national media analysts exactly how wrong they are. Kyler Murray is highly motivated and fully ready to win the NFL Comeback Player of the Year award with the Vikings, according to a jaw-dropping claim made today by his former teammate Chase Edmonds. You heard that correctly. The explosive former #1 overall pick is somehow being heavily linked to our beloved franchise in what would undoubtedly be the most shocking blockbuster move of the entire offseason. This is the kind of move casual fans simply do not understand, but absolutely wins championships in this modern offensive era. The Arizona State standout has faced tremendous adversity and intense scrutiny regarding his leadership and study habits, but placing a dual-threat weapon of his unbelievable caliber into Kevin O'Connell's highly structured system could create pure offensive magic. Now think about this realistically, because pairing an elusive, dynamic playmaker who can extend broken plays with his legs alongside the best wide receiver on the planet in Justin Jefferson would give opposing defensive coordinators chronic nightmares. Edmonds literally put his reputation on the line by publicly stating that this quarterback is operating with a massive chip on his shoulder and sees Minnesota as the perfect environment to completely resurrect his superstar status. But it gets worse for the rest of the NFC North, because if Kwesi Adofo-Mensah actually manages to pull off this unprecedented acquisition, it instantly shifts our entire timeline from a transitional rebuild into immediate Super Bowl contention. Inside the building, this raised serious eyebrows, as evaluating the cost of acquiring such a polarizing yet supremely talented signal caller requires immaculate strategic planning and aggressive salary cap maneuvering. Getting a highly motivated MVP-level talent looking for ultimate redemption is exactly how dynasties are built in the NFL. When you take a step back and truly analyze these three massive developments intertwining all at once, you begin to see a profoundly clear picture of exactly what the Minnesota Vikings front office is attempting to build behind closed doors. The potential addition of a legendary veteran pass catcher like DeAndre Hopkins, directly responding to the sudden departure of a depth piece, shows that this coaching staff is not content with simply fielding a developmental squad this season. They want proven killers on the perimeter who can immediately contribute to a hostile aerial attack. Meanwhile, the incredibly unfair national media slander directed toward our premier tight end only serves to strengthen the internal bond within that locker room, creating an us-against-the-world mentality that legendary head coaches desperately crave when building a resilient championship culture. But the absolute centerpiece of this entire strategic puzzle revolves around the mind-bending possibility of acquiring an explosive dual-threat quarterback who is actively seeking redemption and a fresh start in a stable environment. Bringing in a highly motivated former top selection completely changes the mathematical equation of our offensive philosophy, forcing opposing linebackers to spy the backfield and subsequently leaving massive voids in the secondary for our elite pass catchers to exploit relentlessly. This brilliant sequence of potential roster maneuvers highlights a front office that is fearlessly aggressive, calculating every single cap implication while actively searching for the ultimate competitive edge. If these bold rumors materialize into concrete reality, we are no longer just fighting for a wild card spot, but rather positioning ourselves to absolutely dominate the division and strike genuine fear into the hearts of the Detroit Lions and Green Bay Packers for the foreseeable future. This is exactly the type of aggressive, foundational shift that completely redefines a franchise for the next decade, and the Minnesota Vikings are clearly positioning themselves to shock the entire National Football League this season. We are witnessing a monumental transformation where veteran superstars are practically begging to join our explosive offense. Our core foundational pieces are being fueled by massive disrespect from the national media, and the quarterback room could be on the verge of welcoming an absolute game-changer who is hungry for ultimate redemption. This is not just another draft prospect or a minor free agency splash. This could be the next cornerstone of the Vikings' offensive line and overall team identity for the next decade. I need every single one of you die-hard fans to sound off in the comments right now and tell me exactly how you feel about this insane potential quarterback move and the massive disrespect aimed at our tight end. Do not forget to absolutely destroy that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a single piece of breaking Vikings news, because this roster is about to get incredibly dangerous. Skol Vikings, and I will see you all in the next unbelievable update.